Hello everybody, my name is Craig Bennett and I'm the founder and owner of TechFuseNup, and today I'm going to show you how to make a WordPress site. Now, as far as things goes, this is going to be a very extensive and possibly a very long video, and also there's going to be quite a few things going to be blocked out of this particular video because this is going to be a real site and it's going to be a client site, one of my clients. And as far as this goes, I don't really have their permission to show the site, and obviously showing usernames and all the other stuff is bad. So there's going to be quite a few things blocked out, but it's going to be an actual real site. So it's, you know, not one of those test things that you can fool around it with. It has to be functional and real by the time we're done. But as far as things goes, I'm going to be starting out the video with GoDaddy. And that way I can show you how to build the actual server from GoDaddy, and then we're going to go into WordPress. Because in order to run a WordPress site or any site, you have to have a domain. And what is a domain? It's like google.com, techfusenup.com, ebay.com, something around that, or .org or whatever. But you got to have a domain, so it's an address. And then you gotta have some type of web server, or for depending on the location, it was here hosting, web hosting, something like that. So basically, what a domain is, it's a address. Like if you're going to go to some address, but if you don't have a hosting, a web server, or whatever you want to call it, then it's like the building's not even there. But if you have the hosting there, then you know you obviously got the building. But if you got the hosting without the domain, then you got the building without the address. So that's the best way I can explain it. But anyways, let's jump into a quick personal advertisement, and that way you guys know how to support my channel, and it can help it grow a lot faster and better than I could do just on my own. If you would like to support us at TechFuseNup, then please do one or all of the following. What you can do is you can select the TechFuseNup logo at the top, and this will take you to our TechFuseNup YouTube page. Or you can select the PayPal button, and that will take you to our PayPal donation page. Or you can select the Patreon campaign button, and that'll take you to our Patreon campaign. Now, saying that if you don't have the financial means, or you already done that, or whatever it may be, and you don't want to do that, but you still want to support us, you can also do some of the following. You can leave a like and share this video and any other video that you want from us, and maybe even our channel, and tell people why you like us, so other people could come and enjoy this and also help build up this community. You can also, if you like to help us but you dislike a certain video for whatever reason, go ahead and leave a dislike, but tell us what you don't like about it so we can fix it in the future. And also, as always, please feel free to subscribe and check out our other videos. And when you're checking out our videos, if you really want to support us, just go ahead and drop the ad blockers, and that way we can get our revenue. But if you want to continue to use your ad blockers, then feel free to do so. It's not like I'm not doing it. Welcome back. Now, as far as things goes, I'm assuming that you already have the web hosting and the domain picked out and all that stuff. What you need to do from there is go into the web hosting, the web hosting section of the GoDaddy, launch it, and let it do its thing, and then eventually you should come to something that looks like this. Again, good pieces of this is going to be blocked out. Somewhere around here you'll see WordPress. Just click on it and do what's called a custom install. So from here you need to just go click install and go install custom. And by the way, I might have skipped a step already. You might have to link your website to the web hosting server. It's pretty easy, straightforward, so I'm not even going to get too detailed in that. But anyways, go on here, make sure you don't click the install. Go click on this and go to install custom. The reason why is, other words, you're going to get your domain / WordPress, and no one wants that. No one's going to type that in. You need to just put your domain and so on. So you have to go to install custom. Now, as far as this goes, the biggest thing that you need to keep in mind is the website itself needs to be listed that you want, and just take out WordPress. So again, what will happen otherwise is the person will have to put in your website / WordPress in order to get to the website, which makes no sense. So it makes it appropriate. It actually tripped me up. I actually had to remove an entire WordPress installation from, in fact, this server, because apparently GoDaddy messed around with that, and you have to do that. So originally, back in the day, back in the day, it took 12 hours to install WordPress. Now it's like a couple seconds, which is pretty cool. But now we have to do a custom because of that. Still pretty automated compared to what it was. Now below here, just go to type in whatever administrator that you want and confirm password, grant, and everything. And you might want to check the automatic updates, so you or your client, depending on your situation, doesn't have to go into WordPress each and every time to update it. It does it itself. And it's pretty safe to allow it to update itself, and it actually makes it a little bit more secure. So a lot of the updates are security updates, so it's worthwhile. Now, whenever that's done, what you need to do is either update your stuff through GoDaddy, and if you want, after that or before then, it doesn't really matter. You can go to your website, try to go to the backend, and it needs to be whatever the website is /wp -admin / whatever, and that will take you to the login page. Log in into your administrator account, and you should see something similar to this. It's probably not going to be exact. And there's a few things you need to do in order to really start working on stuff. First off, you need to find a theme that you're happy with, and you might as well go ahead and check out your website itself. So just go to this area, go to view sites, right click in new tab or whatever, and that will open up the websites, and that way you can check it out. And I advise you have it open while you're working on it. That way you have some feedback on if you're making the right choice or not, because what happens is if you refresh as you're changing and you don't like something, or something messes up entirely, which is possible and happens a lot, then go and reverse that decision, and there you go. In other words, you gotta troubleshoot and find which little thing messed up the entire thing. So from here, what you need to do is, with this particular client, they wanted me to make a couple pages, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and it's gonna be a pretty basic site. So from here, what I'll do is, again, do the theme. I'm just going to theme options. I already loaded one of my themes up, iFeature Pro 5. I like it a lot. The biggest thing is whenever you go to the theme, make sure you got your colors right and stuff. And each theme has its own little different options. You can go customize to even get more options, but pretty much majority of your options is within theme options. Unfortunately, I can't show you too much beyond that, mostly because each theme has a dramatic change towards what you can do and its layout for the backend right here. Because I've seen themes that done some amazing things, and a lot of themes, most themes, they for the most part has something different about them. So make sure that your logo is in the right place wherever it needs to be. It could be, at the top, depending on the thing, maybe middle, who knows. From there, we need to work on the pages. Anyways, I already got a lot of these up and running. Crap. Anyways, I got most of these up and running, and I don't have anything added to any of these, but basically the pages, for what I use it for, other people use it for different things, but for what I use it for, they are they're basically menu items. You can link them to different things. Say for example, one of the things the client wants is something about form documents or something like that, and I'm going to tell them the best way to deal with that is by having some like Google Docs or something, and that way whenever someone fills out the form, you know, someone doesn't have to worry about turning it in. I mean, if they want to print out, then fine, you can do that also, but for the most part you can just fill it out right there and then, and it fills into an Excel, for anyone who's messed with the forms before. Well, with that, the thing to keep in mind with that is that's an external link. So even if we're going to be using an actual page, we're going to have it where it runs into an external link using a plugin. I'm going to show you how to do that. It's a pretty trick. And for YouTube, I've actually done quite a few things, because with YouTube you have a associated site. So if on my channel it's techreviewsandhelp.com, but I can't really link PayPal, Patreon, Facebook, and all the other stuff. So in order to allow me to do that, I have links that allows me to do that. It's pretty much like page links, but I get it's a redirect link, and it's the same theory. And basically, when someone clicks on it, instead of it taking them to something on my site, it just redirects them somewhere else. So PayPal or whatever. By the way, check out those. So what I'll advise is just adding new, open, or just making a bunch of them, and going from there. They, yeah, that's that, and that's going to be the menu items. So from there, what we need to do is start adding plugins, and I think that's about where I'm at now. So one first I'll advise is Jetpack, especially if you're a basic client. It's a good idea to do Jetpack, because Jetpack, it's a very comparable plugin. It's instead of the client going out to La La Land to get statistics about their own website, they use Jetpack, and I think Jetpack is run by the same people who makes WordPress. And by the way, one thing I want to mention is it might take a while for the thing to get on your server. Keep in mind, when you press install or whatever, it downloads to your server, not to your computer. It downloads to your server and installs on your server, and that's a huge thing. You still got to activate it, so keep that in mind too. And while we wait, I might as well add this. It's either within the theme itself or some other method. You need to make a what's called a fav icon. In fact, here we can activate it. You need to make something called a fav icon or favorites icon, and it's basically the little thing, the little icon right here. That is what's called a favorite icon or favorite, and then it's not ICO, which is a icon file. So what you need to do is go to Google, look up favorite icon generators, and you can actually upload images, and they'll basically, it's like only a couple pixels, so it's like 6 pixels across, 6 pixels down, or something like that. It might be like way more than that, but still, it's hardly anything. And you might have to play around with the generator, you know, adding whatever photo blocks in the right locations, and that way you can get the right thing. And keep in mind, you can get very, very detailed. Go to the techreviewsandhelp.com website and look at the fav icon there, and you can see it's actually quite detailed. That's actually an image of the Earth. And you know, some people might say, oh, it's the waves or whatever. It's fine. But the image of the earth, and it's actually pretty detailed. Where this one, it's actually pretty detailed too. You can also get very undetailed, like the Facebook icon and stuff like that. But just go to that. But you can add it in most themes. iFeatures allows you to do that. But if you can't do that, go to your files, go into your GoDaddy file manager, and try to find favorite icon there. I tried to find it earlier, and I wasn't able to find it on my server, my site that's been around for a little while. I was able to find it way back when, but on this that was just made today, I couldn't find it. I don't know why. I don't know if they just stopped doing that and you just got to put it in. I'm not really sure, but that's a huge thing to keep in mind. And it's an even bigger thing that you need to have up there. Other words, you're going to get a paper icon or no icon at all, and that little thing separates your website from another one, especially when someone got a bunch of tabs. But anyways, as I said, you need to activate the plugin, and let's activate it real quick. And again, it takes a while. That has nothing to do with the actual speed of things, just speed of the stuff. And let me load up a bunch of plugins, and I'll be right back. And I'm back. Now, unfortunately, there's a few things that I wanted to add to here that I don't know where they're at now. But things like IP IP blacklist cloud or something like that, and that is something that prevents DDoS, and it helps with it. It doesn't prevent it. But at least these things will be worthwhile, especially if it's something like this. It's nothing that big. Jetpack, again, is very important for the statistics and some other stuff. It has pretty good stuff on it. Members is good for, you can read it. Page links, as you can read, and SEO. Pretty much you need something with SEO. Now, what I'll advise is from here, let's set up the mini bars. And if you follow along, you probably should be hopping back between the site itself by viewing the site and actually going and just actually doing stuff. So that's very, very important, so you can actually keep up and everything. So as far as this goes, we're going to create a new menu and say top or whatever you want to call it. Create. And what we want to do is make that the primary. And what we want to do is start putting some of the pages that we made over here. Now, you can do a sub menu type of thing, and I'll show you how to do that in a bit. So for example, I want to add this to the menu. I want to add that. So now when someone goes to the site, they will have a menu at the top that says About Us. Then when they hover over it says Contact Page. I might change that to Contact Us. Then try to put in some of these others, and I will be right back. Now, one of the cool things with these sub-menus, you don't have to worry about moving one thing at a time. Just grab whatever the parent is. They call this as parent, this is child. And just grab the parent and you can move the whole thing. It's pretty cool. And also you can make the whole thing even more. This is parent, this is child, this is parent of this child. So same thing here. It's pretty cool. And just get it like you want. Now as far as this goes, we got the menus pretty much done. I just looked at it. It's pretty good. But one thing I want to add in here is the footers. We need to make a new one, and we need to make it for the footer. So what is a footer? It's the bottom part of the page. The reason why that's important is it's especially with larger sites, it's pretty much a site map, so it just makes it easier for anyone to actually. In fact, if you go to a large site, if you don't know where something is, scroll all the way to the bottom, and most of the time someone made their website right, they got a footer menu, and this lists pretty much all the pages, and there you go. And it's pretty good. It's pretty good stuff. You'll see it online. If you want an example of that, go to techreviews.com and you can see it online. It's a pretty good example. So with this, we'll do the same thing, except for there's no subs. So add all them. Make sure that we select that. Probably put it in the right context. So contact us is last. Events, probably somewhere up here. Honey for sales up there. Events, blah blah blah. That goes out. And you might notice I don't have a home on either one. And depending on your theme, you might have to have that, but most themes, they have a home button. So check on that. With my current theme, the iFeature Pro, you don't have to worry about that. So it's a pretty good trick. But with this, looks like we're pretty good. I'll probably change that to become a member. And if you want to change the name, the title, just go to pages and you can change it there. It's easy stuff. And by the way, before I forget, you can add links. So if you don't want to do redirects through pages, you can just add a link through here, whatever is easier for you. This is pretty much universal across the board. It's fine. Sometimes it's easier just to do pages, especially if you categorize your stuff. It makes it easier for you to be something else. Now let's talk about widgets. Let's jump on into them. So as far as the very bottom, one thing that you may notice if you've been following through, I know I've been skipping over some small things, but I assume that you already know the basics about websites. But one of the things for WordPress at least, and depending on the theme that you're running with, you might have something like a footer widget without knowing it. So you might have noticed that with the menus, you done the footer menu, and that the very bottom changed, but then you got a separate part, and then that changed. Well, what you do is you go to the widgets, go to footer widgets, and just put a text box in there, save it, and it's good. You might still got like a split, but for the most part, it takes care of it. Now, and yes, I do have my phone that talks to me when the battery gets low. But anyways, as far as this goes, you can add whatever on the left or right sidebar, whatever. The boxes, I wouldn't worry about them, but the left and right sidebar is the left and right side of the theme. So depending on how you got your stuff stylized, you might have stuff on the left, stuff on the right side, or both. Now, depending on your customer, and for this one, I might do it. Probably not right now. I'm probably going to give them the option to this, but you can go and get some plugins and add some more stuff that you can add for a theme. As you may notice, yours probably doesn't have counters, events, and stuff like that. I have a counter event with them because they have events that come up once in a while. So one thing you could look for is like pictures and things like that in the plugins, and keep in mind if you want to add something like PayPal or whatever, open up a text box and you need the embedded code to put in there. Test it out and make sure it works, and if it works, then good. and if it doesn't, then you need to find out why. But for the most part, you need the text box in order to do that. It's HTML code, as it says there. So that's very, very important. Now, as far as one area that I can't show you because, well, it would give away too much information, is the users. So let's say that you're doing this for a client like myself. One thing that you want to do is go to the user, hover over it, add new, and from there you can basically make something for yourself, or you can go ahead and you can add whatever you need to, administrators and so on. Now with things, how things are, you may want to put in a plugin that reads from Excel. Depends on if you're have to import a bunch of users. So that's up to you. But I would also advise you to go through the settings and just go through each one of them, and that will also list some important information. I don't really find too much importance besides the general and maybe spam filter and stuff like that. But other than that, there's not much more than that. Now, as far as that goes, one thing I advise you to do is go to the Jetpack before you call it quits, which I'm about to. And unfortunately, I can't, show you a lot of this because, again, don't have permission. But so, what you need to do is you need to go through here and make sure everything's enabled that you want enabled. So, like spelling and grammar, things like that. And that's why you want to make sure the thing has Jetpack on, because things like that. But anyways, this has been Craig Bennett, founder and owner of TechViews Help, and hope that this video has helped you out. And if it has, then please, if you like, please subscribe, please share. If it hasn't, then go ahead and leave a dislike, but also tell me why you're leaving a dislike. Now, if you want to, please feel free to check out the techviewshelp.com website, especially for something like this, for references. I don't have the TechViews Help website. I'm like all uppity, and it's mostly because I just don't care. I used to care way back when. I had it so good where it actually was #1, not #2 or 3 or whatever, but #1 on Google for not every tech research, obviously, but pretty much anything that I wrote. It was #1. Anything that I was aiming for, it was #1 on Google. And that was back when I did SEO work. I don't really do that anymore. And I don't really care anymore. The site's just a site. The money's not in these sites anymore. And I can tell you that for a fact now. But as far as things goes, if you do have any questions, feel free to leave that below, and I'll try to get back to you as quick as possible. But anyways, feel free to check out the Patreon campaign, my videos, and the PayPal donation, and some other stuff. But again, this has been Craig Bennett, founder and owner of TechViews Help, and hope you have a great day.